talking about it goes under 4 different standards. It goes under S1, CS1. Students will be aware of the importance of curiosity, openness, and skepticism in science, and will exhibit these traits in their own efforts to understand how the world works. S1, CS3, students will use tools and instruments for observing, measuring, and manipulating objects in scientific activities. And S2, E3, students will observe and record changes in their surroundings and infer the causes of these changes. S2, L1, students will investigate the life cycles of different living organisms. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a forest ecosystem. Does anybody have an idea of what a forest is or what things live in a forest? Yes, Tiger.
Lots of trees.
Trees. Okay, let's do trees. Anything else that you guys can think of?
Animals.
Whoa, what the heck was that? Animals. And there's other things such as like there could be like
A
water,
lake?
like a lake.
Water.
Lake or a river.
Bushes.
Bushes, nice.
Grass.
Grass. Okay, so you guys get the general idea. It's basically just an open field with a bunch of trees everywhere and a lot of different animals, insects, and everything. And so, do you guys know what an ecosystem is?
No.
So that's what we're going to be learning about today. An ecosystem is all the living things within a certain area, like the animals, the plants, and other organisms that work together so that they can survive, along with other things that are non-living, such as the sun, water, rocks, soil, things of that nature, like things that they could eat. And an ecosystem is important to us ourselves because an ecosystem we can use to make products that we use or food that we need to eat for us to survive. So both the ecosystem that they live in and the one us humans, we use it as well. So they work together. For living things like us, we need 5 essential things to survive, which is 1, food. I'm guessing because you guys get hungry.
Yeah.
Yep.
2, water, air or oxygen. Sun, and 5, the right temperature, because we can't be too hot or too cold, or else we'll be thrown off balance. Okay, where did that fit? Okay, and so in an ecosystem, each different part works together. So this is what we call a food web. Where it starts off as the sun. The sun is the first step of our food web. And then the sun comes down and the rays hit things such as the grass, trees, flowers. And then once the sun hits these, the grass and the trees will grow and certain insects and animals will eat these. Insects will eat the plants. Small animals such as squirrels or deer also eat grass. They don't eat meat. Like deer. Fish as well. And then after this, these small animals like insects, deer, fish, squirrels are eaten by certain bigger animals such as foxes, possums, and owls. And in turn, even bigger animals eat these types of animals because each of them need their own source of food, a way that they can survive, which could be like bears or wolves, coyotes, and these all live within the same ecosystem of the forest. Okay. And there is. Okay. And I want to show you guys a video. This is two people who are designers. They made a interactive ecosystem that you guys can actually play with. And basically, it's an ecosystem that you create on your own, and you can like control it by yourself. So if you want to make the trees, because trees are nearly like one of the first parts of the ecosystem, you basically just extend your arms out, and branches will start to like form in the shape of you. And then there's also a waterfall that like goes down a stream that's on the floor that you can push the water to the trees, and it'll start to water it. And the healthier that you make your trees and everything, the more fruits, flowers, and nuts will grow on the trees, which attracts animals that eat these, such as insects, deer, fish, and squirrels. And then, so the better your ecosystem is, the more lively yours is. I'll show you guys that. You see different types of insects. You see the little kid, she's playing with the little different insects, and these are the trees that grew, and she's over here about to make her own tree. And this guy, he's with a pillow, he's pushing the water towards the tree so that it can water it. Trees need water for them to grow. So this is a great way for kids like you guys to understand how an ecosystem works and the different effects when you give it water, and if you don't give it water, you'll start to see the trees shrink. So how he's extending his arms and then new tree branches are growing. And you can see there's things like a dragonfly and a butterfly that flew across that came as well. You can see that all these different kids are working together to create and keep their ecosystem healthy, which also shows that an ecosystem needs different parts to create it and work together. So I think you guys get the idea. Okay, and so like I said, if you were not to water them as much, then your trees there they'd start to shrink, which means that a lot of the insects and little animals that were there would start to go away, which means it's basically like a pattern. Everything is in balance. So if you have less insects and animals, then there's not enough food for foxes, possums, or owls to eat, and then that means that bears, wolves, and coyotes will go into starvation too. So you'll just see a decrease in a lot of the animals that used to be there in a forest ecosystem. So if an ecosystem did not get enough water and the trees were starting to die out, and all these animals would start to die as well, how do you think that would affect you guys?
It'd make me sad.
Make you sad?
We wouldn't be able to eat certain foods.
Because we ourselves, we eat things like fish.
Mm-hmm.
And in some countries, they eat insects.
Ew.
It's true. Like in Asia. And then... And do you guys ever hear about commercials or anything that says that in our forests, we have to conserve energy, use less water, or don't use as much paper? Yeah, that's because paper is made from trees, and so like the more energy or more water we use, the less we'll have in the ecosystem. which comes back to us because then we won't have enough for ourselves.
How can you save energy?
You can turn off the lights when you are not using in that room, or you can take shorter showers, or what else? Not use a nightlight anymore.
Oh.
At some point. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you, class.